What's going on, guys? It's been a pretty chaotic week, pretty long week. I'm feeling a little bit better, but still not great. But I did want to do the mailbox, get things done. And I think I got some pretty cool things that came in. So this mailbox is basically the Super 7 dump. I do have one more coming in towards the end of January. Then probably another one in February. Still have a couple more things I need to order from Super 7. But everything's literally getting done and coming out pretty well. So finally picked up Rat King from Super 7. Comes with 3 heads, a grenade cat bag, a knife, some rats, some extra hands. This definitely gets my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection kind of done until they bring out new characters. So with that, I definitely, like I've said, want Ground Chuck, Dirtbag, Toka Razor. I have room for 2 more turtle characters, but that's going to take some time of me trying to figure out who I want, if there's any. Like I said, it's just collecting villains, so I'm pretty excited. At least one collection is done for now. I have pre-ordered Melodia and hardware for the Silverhawks collection. So that's literally done. Just gotta wait for March till they ship out. Which I'm probably going to get in April. I do have Vultureman, the toy version, unfortunately, for Thundercats. Truthfully, there's just a couple more I need to order for Thundercats, because we finally have Mirror Lion O, which basically comes with everything Lion O came with, except he's colored red. Bio's of course in the back with the picture of. This is basically where Lion O was trapped in a mirror, and his mirror version was an evil version of himself. Instead of the blue, it was a light red. Definitely, like I said, I gotta start unboxing, figure out where I am. Also got Jackleman. This is, I think, the second version of him. I think. Not the toy version, but the second deluxe version. Last Thundercat I got was Slithe. So my Evil Mutants is literally kind of finished. I have Mumra, I have Slithe, Monkeyan, and Jackleman. This Slithe came with a mace, couple extra hands, 2 battle axes, and an extra head. As I said, I have Vulture-Man, the toy version, unfortunately, on pre-order. And I need to order Rotaro. I have Mirror Lion O, Groon the Destroyer, Mongor, Hammerhand. Need to order Safari Joe. So that basically leaves 1 slot open. I do want to pick up Hachiman, but he wasn't really a villain. And since they still have the IPs, I want to see who else they bring out. There is several characters I would love to get. Driller, Demolisher, Mumra as King Arthur. So I'm pretty excited. Technically, 2 more characters, and I've caught up with Thundercats, so that would finish that. With my pre-orders, Silverhawks is pretty much finished, unless something else comes out. Turtles is pretty much finished. Until the new stuff comes out. I think out of all the IPs, Super 7's not going to get rid of the Turtles. So we do have a pretty good chance of getting more and more characters for a couple more years. I mean, worst comes to worst, there's still Krang. There's still a few characters I can pick up. Like I said, they lost the IP for Power Rangers, unfortunately. However, I think I'm going to mix and match a few things. I've decided what is going to make up the rest of the area for my Power Rangers collection. I'm going to keep that as a surprise until they actually come in. It's something I kind of wanted from Super 7. But since they lost their IP, I'm willing to do the Lightning collection. They don't look as great. They're from Hasbro. But they will fit, excuse me, that collection. So yeah, by this coming year, almost my collection will be complete. And that's pretty insane. That's something I never thought I'd actually say. I mean, there's still going to be a lot more stuff to pick up. Like the Transformers, like Soul of Chuck Hogan. Those are all imported stuff, so definitely have to wait till the tariffs are done. New president or whatever. Also, most of it is going to be expensive. So, it's pretty crazy. However, with that being said, I do have a surprise for you guys. One more collection has been started. If you see my other videos, below the 2 Star Wars shelves, there's an empty shelf that I've been holding on to. And yes, there's a lot of things I would love to get. So as of this point, I have 2. You guys know I have 1 though. Marvel Legends character. You guys see my Firestar for the Hero shelf. For my villain shelf, I have Supreme Doctor Doom. As a Spider-Man fan, I would love to do a Sinister Six. Also would love to do the symbiotes. And a lot of the Spider-Man villains, but I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole. That collection. Besides it doesn't fit my idea of a collection. But this does. So yes, know it does have some issues, some problems. We'll get to those when we unbox it. Which actually probably won't be too long. Maybe 3 or 4 weeks. There's 4 more Power Rangers to unbox, so 2 a week. Then we'll unbox this. High-tech helicopter from Mask. The original was made by Kenner Toys. This is made by the loyal subjects, the Swithblade. It comes with Miles Mayhem, 2 masks, 1 firing the acid shot. Yes, I will be picking up Venom. Not all of them. Definitely Switchblade, Jackhammer, and Piranha. This, from what I've seen, the characters themselves are a little bit more flimsy than the originals. They're also a little bit more, just a bit taller and more detailed. Each of the toys or each of the mass vehicles in Volume 1, Condor, Switchblade, Thunderhawk, and Rhino, all have problems. You can find videos of these online. There's a couple where the character's legs fall apart. Switchblade's biggest problem is basically the transformation. So the picture here is kind of wrong. The helicopter that is facing down in the helicopter mode so there is 2 switches on each side. This side switch, if you press it, spins the blade. This side switch releases the blade. So basically when you transform Switchblade, you fold up one blade, turn it, and push it down into the tail part where it latches onto a latch. Apparently the latch isn't big enough to hold the blade, so a lot of times the blades keep popping up when you're transforming the thing. The wings thankfully hold to the side and of course fold out. The landing gear does pop up. Everything works. Unfortunately, a lot of times also the landing gear guns tend to pop out. Once you get Switchblade into the plane though, everything's fine because the back folds up and actually holds down the blade or locks it in, which is great. Fortunately for me, I'm going to keep it in the helicopter mode. Just like Piranha is going to stay in the bike mode and Jackhammer is going to stay in the four-wheeler mode. Just want the characters outside holding the helmets. Not going to be playing with them, just displaying them. it does work out for me. So yeah, Power Rangers should be completed within this year. Turtles have to wait for the new characters. Silverhawk should be completed by this year. Thundercats should be completed again by this year until the new character comes out. So all the masks will be going there. Between the Star Wars, the Dreadnoks, and sort of the G.I. Joes. Little by little, everything will be unboxed. Most of which, all of these should be this year. And most of the G.I. Joes. Which then we can focus on the other side of the room. Hoping most of the Star Wars is done also. There are still a couple characters I'm waiting for. Masks, like I said, definitely want Jackhammer, Piranha, and Vanessa's vehicle. Forget what that was called. So hopefully most of this side should be done this year. Still need to put something there. Still waiting on the asp to put there. Once we get these two unboxed, still waiting on the Mauler. And that should be the last vehicle for classifieds. Besides the vehicles for the Dreadnoks. They have continued to keep standing. So I have the Massiverse, so I'm pretty surprised. But little by little, things are getting done. So this week, of course, for Star Wars on Friday, we got one Jack and Zero to unbox. And Power Rangers, Finster and Rita Repulsa. They will be on the back. Lord Zed, Green Ranger. Of course, I'm going with the evil Green Ranger. My putty that's coming in should be in a couple weeks. by then, hopefully, we're doing the turtles. So we'll come back and unbox the putty after we finish the turtles. We'll see how long this takes. But again, 6 characters, so 3-4 weeks for the turtles. Then my little special thing up front. And waiting on the turtles. Do have an extra row here that we need to do, and then one more row of villains. I mean, honestly, this is pretty insane already. And if I can get some imported villains, honestly, I can't wait to see how this turns out. If you haven't heard the news, the guys who made the Marshal, the new Brave Star figure, is starting to make the new Tex Hex figure. It's called the Outlaw. It looks pretty crazy. So definitely can't wait for that. And then we can start all on this. At least this is kind of done. So I definitely have an idea up until here. Yeah, we kind of gotta wait and see. Should have enough room for 3 more things. I don't know if you'll stay here. I know one thing I want for the 3 things is the villain from Conan the Adventurers. I kind of do want a Super 7 Conan. Other than that, I don't know. Then, of course, unboxing the Mecha Gargoyles. And we still gotta finish the girls thing. Definitely have to pick up a couple more, well, at least one more Lego. And maybe leave that open for some, I don't know. Loyal Subjects does have a couple things. Rainbow Bright, Strawberry Shortcake, things I grew up with, well, grew up watching, I guess. Honestly, I was never a fan of the Rainbow Bright cartoon. Neither was I a fan of Strawberry Shortcake. but sometimes they were the only things that were on. This shelf, once it's cleaned, will all be Transformers Masterpiece. And then we got 2 shells for Soul of Chogogan, which I'm thinking once they're unboxed, 4 figures across, 3 out for those characters. And then we got these characters, which will probably be 3 figures across and 2 out. But Transformers and Soul will be the final unboxing, which will probably be next year. Next year. We'll see. But of course, we still got Godzilla. And then, of course, more books is coming in. Well, definitely need to pick up more DVDs, of course. Possibly more Funkos. Definitely more Disney stuff. Well, anyway, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Definitely need some NECA Predators. And we'll see what we can get into. As I said, never say never. But for now, safe journey. Aloha.